that then, and even at that point, he keep on asking them, where is the law? I think it has become a global national anthem all over the world now. Where is the law? Omotosho, Omotosho, where is the law? And where is the law? You can see a lot of people it has gone viral. There are so many things now that you can look at, and you can say, where is the law? Where is the law? Where is the law? There is T-shirt, there is cup, everything is now. Where is the law? So I think it has become an embarrassment to the global body of benchers, to international body of benchers, to African body of benchers.
As regards Justice Omotosho's, sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu's, judgment, his life sentence, and he said, "What this is a big injustice to the people of the Biafrans and to some extent Nnamdi Kanu himself." Do you agree with this?
Yes, it's not exaggeration. It is on record that such a thing took place on the 20th of November, 2025, where we see clearly the judicial recklessness of the High Court Chief, J.Omotosho. We also see the complete bastardization of anything that has to do with jurisdiction in that regard, because we know actually, a lot of things we have actually been set aside on mazi Nnamdi Kanu's trial, and having enjoyed global condemnation from different bodies, ranging from World Court, ranging from London, America. Nigerians themselves have continued to ask the same question everybody is asking today. Where actually did Omotosho actually got his powers from outside the Nigerian constitution to carry out that kind of judgment on mazi Nnamdi Kanu? We saw that completely. There is no existent law. And there is most of those things has been repealed, and you see, you traded on the complete destruction of Nigerian judicial system, and of course exposing the world to what a lot of people called a total complete lawlessness of the judicial process executed by a man. People thought that he should have known better, what the law is actually, talking about, is done using a certain factor, to determine mazi Nnamdi Kanu's, case, and it has been proved everywhere that the law that was used by J.Omotosho on Nnamdi Kanu could not be found in any written law in the Nigerian constitution. I think that was what triggered a global outcry and begin to attract, Supreme Court bodies, legal organizations around the world. And more especially now, we are seeing about 5 different organizations, have taken the matter up directly to Judicial, who happens to be the head of the current head of the ICC, and he keep on asking, the question the man first asked, where did this man get the law that he actually relied on, to execute mazi Nnamdi Kanu, knowing fully well, that as the matter has gone to the Supreme Court and of course to the Appeal Court, the Federal High Court lacked the jurisdiction, to try mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I think that was what actually angered, and they said right from time, with all the delegates they sent to Abuja, to monitor and observe the process of the trial as it was going as at that time, and finally, at the watch as the whole recklessness was being carried out, in that regard, that even to an extent there was no law that was quoted as a reliable stand before that judgment was actually passed. And that's what we are hearing from that report, that likely he might be ordered to submit himself, or maybe under arrest or something, to submit himself for questioning, and that is going to attract a heavy penalty on the side of Nigeria, because he will be asked to explain, how he managed to get or how where he derived his constitutional powers to execute such judgment. If you look at it very well, and when these things have been explained, even while he was pronouncing judgment on mazi nnamdi kanu, it became very clear, this is a premeditated and agreed, tailored, sponsored by northern Fulani political class who saw mazi nnamdi kanu as a resistant voice, and who has continuously, to expose, the recklessness and the ridicule Nigerian system has found themselves at this moment, where most of the things he said it very clearly. I am fighting for my people. I am fighting for the sovereignty of Biafra. I am not against anybody. He fought for the Hausas, he fought for the Yorubas, he fought for just virtually anybody, but we are saying at this point, that self-determination is my right. So that was what, these bodies came together and was spearheaded by a notable personality within the African, advocacy forum and institute, talking about Dr. Masanga, and to have taken the matter to the Queen's Bench Court in London, and the matter has been admitted in London, and we are hearing also that all documents are being put in place, and I think by now Abuja should be receiving and directing, give directives on what is going to become next of J.Omotosho, or to come and face, and explain to the body of International Criminal Court benchers, or how he actually arrived at that judgment. So he's under serious, investigation and surveillance currently now. And people are saying that he has nowhere to hide anywhere in the world, and that definitely, that it is getting more interesting this time around, because, like a lot of people are saying, that judgment is going to trigger and is going to, involve a lot of things that can actually, put Nigeria on the spot. A lot of people also made this very clearly, that judgment is capable of forceful pushing Nigeria to a forceful, disintegration, because there are bodies, even the World Court Art, prosecutor has also declared his interest to reveal the judgment that was passed on mazi nnamdi kanu.
Was it really? Okay, but just like you said, there are a lot of reaction globally as regards this nnamdi kanu sentence. Some are saying this is not, or this is a means of nailing down the Igbos, just like what we know that is currently happening to them in Nigeria. But do you not think that because we are going to report, we hear that what the international legal experts are coming together to what, to hit the Nigerian government as regards what this transferring of Nnamdi Kanu down to Sokoto prison. But do you think that this legal international experts, if they really come together, do you think that Nnamdi Kanu can get the freedom that he desires?
And it comes with a lot of penalties. Nigeria can receive thousands and millions of sanctions, and all the leaders that are involved in that, judgment, will be actually, to be, they'll be ordered to be arrested and are brought to the International Criminal Court for violating, of course, the national and international law. The international law that was violated at that point is, the J.Omotosho setting aside, the rendition order, that make the whole legal process, a charade. And that is why mazi nnamdi kanu is saying now, based on Supreme Court judgment, the court itself, of which Omotosho was standing, has no jurisdiction to continue the trial until the issue of rendition is solved. And that is why the president of Kenya, William Ruto, took the same government and the same system to ICC. Now it has become, something that ICC can no longer, keep silent about. So they have thrown it open, and more petitions from African nations, from international communities, from human rights advocate forums and organizations, flooding, with over 1,000 petitions against Nigeria. So you can see very clearly, that matter. Yes, I think has put Nigerian government on the spot now, because Omotosho self have not been able to come out up to this moment, issue a press statement, even through his federal government prosecutor, on which law they relied upon to carry out that judgment pronouncement. So it has landed him in trouble, and they are giving him a space of 2 weeks or thereabout to start preparing to face the International Criminal Court, according to what Dr. Masanga was trying to say in that video that you have watched. You can see reactions, different reactions on that judgment, before this analysis begin and to kick off, so that you'll be able to have at least a clue of what actually it played on. That judgment was deeply politically motivated, because you cannot say that a man to death sentence or life imprisonment is for just mere rhetorics, which almost every Nigerian does that, including government officials. They said they get themselves involved in that regard also. Say, don't know what actually made mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case to be something that has become an issue that has gone to a point that where a kind of criminality was carried out, a sovereignty was broken, that issue is still on the ground, and based on that, the appeal court judgment was not respected. So what is the judicial? So you can know that Nigerian government actually had an ulterior motive before they said, that mazi Nnamdi Kanu should go back, and a retrial should commence in that regard. And mazi Nnamdi Kanu keep questioning that this court where he is standing currently now has no jurisdiction, to carry out his trial. That then, and even at that point, he keep on asking them, where is the law? I think has become a global national anthem all over the world now. Where is the law? Omotosho, where is the law? And where is the law? You can see a lot of people it has gone viral. There are so many things now that you can look at, and you can say, where is the law? Where is the law? Where is the law? There is t-shirt, there is cup, everything is now. Where is the law? So I think it has become an embarrassment to the global body of benchers, to international body of benchers, to African body of benchers, to West Africa bar associations. They have been reacting, because they have not been able to see those kind of things happen anywhere in the world, where a civil law or whatever was being turned to a criminal act, just to make sure that a certain set of people is being pleased on the issue that has to do with how people want to be governed. I think to that extent that was what actually rendered that judgment useless, and without any atom of something that can be seen to be very vital in terms of what Nigeria represents and what the constitution actually talked about. So we are going to see a lot of drama, any moment from now. But the funny thing is that Nigeria is a very, very corrupt entity, where money determines who goes to jail and who does not go to jail, where money is being seen as a measure of justice, where interest and nepotism, oppression is being seen as a means of passing unjust justice on perceived people whom they felt that they are not actually worthy to experience justice. That is actually what happened to mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So no matter how far mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they throw mazi Nnamdi Kanu to like the Sokoto prison. He has turned to a celebrity there. You know, the radio Biafra is already on there in Sokoto prison, and the people have continued to embrace them. And they were even saying that likely Sheikh Gumi made a certain move to meet Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Sokoto prison. You know, and people were saying that if Sheikh Gumi actually feel otherwise and able to get close to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that Sheikh Gumi will be totally de-radicalized, and he will not leave that prison visit without turning a new leaf. And that is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu represent, and that's what Mazi Nnamdi is capable of doing. That Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will totally de-radicalize. You know, Gumi. It's like the northern oligarchy political class, the Finaly political class, who connived with, who masterminded this political judgment. You know, seem to have realized suddenly that, you know, there is trouble somewhere, and of course now they are going to distance themselves completely and allow Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if possible, you know, according to that report, and J.Omotosho, to definitely face the International Criminal Court on how, where they got, you know, the act or the law which they relied on to pass that, you know, judgment. And remember, the United States congressmen have also condemned that judgment based on the so many loopholes and illegalities, an act of criminality and you know, victimization that was a lot of loopholes, you know, was seen there. And that is why the world would not want to rely on going to appeal alone, because it's the same court you are going to go, and the same court might decide to uphold, you know, the life sentences of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So what, apart from the political solution, which we are hearing that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has actually rejected, you know, what is left now is international pressure on Nigeria to prove a point, or, you know, an ordered invitation to Omotosho and all the people that were involved in that judgment, including the presidency themselves, to appear before the world court and declare where and how they managed to arrive, of course, at that, you know, judgment. So it's going to put Nigeria on the spot, and will lead to total clampdown on political actors. And of course, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to receive, you know, a heavy, you know, damage paid to him as a result of violations of his right for 10 years, as he continued to face terrorism, repeat laws on terrorism, repeat laws on treasonable felony charges, repeat laws on you know, on the issue that has to do with rendition. Then, of course, you know, the lack of court jurisdiction to even open the trial. So it can see the whole thing, you know, is in favor of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because see, I don't want to rely on the issue where the lawyer is talking about going to the appeal, because you don't know how Nigerian government themselves are going to begin to manipulate the process again in the appeal court, because they are the same people who are controlling the unfortunate lawlessness that we are seeing in the Nigerian judicial system now. So what we definitely need is a more international and global, you know, pressure, you know, for these two people to explain to the International Criminal Court, and of course, what court or what court to be able to tell them of which law they relied on before, you know, carry out that judgment, considering the fact that, you know, the illegality of illegal kidnap and rendition have rendered the federal high court, you know, Abuja, lacking the jurisdiction to commence the trial in the first place.
Okay, but just like yesterday, you said you are so sure that what the Nnamdi Kanu's legal team will assemble themselves for this for his appeal. But do you think that just like Nnamdi Kanu won in the appeal court in 2022, do you think that if Nnamdi Kanu wins again after this is appeal, do you think that Tinubu government will allow him go?
I think they are abandoning a political solution to it. currently now. And that political solution they are talking about currently now was what the federal government want to use, to correct or the already damaged and fractured, amputated, image on the judiciary and the government of Nigeria before the international community. So they started pushing for political solution, knowing that very well, they have actually lost on that process if it is going to be exposed in the international and the global space, where a lot of experts will start feasting on so many loopholes. So now, if you are talking about a political solution, it has to be very unconditional, because the government themselves actually goofed. So and they do not want to see that happen if without pushing for a political solution. And why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers, the legal team, which I believe that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu never sacked his legal team, because they are the one that are going to spearhead and started documenting applications for the appeal court, a plan that's already ongoing. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the next few months should be seen to be out, to be released from Sokoto prison, because in the next 72 hours, I think we are going to see overwhelming applications hitting Abuja, Asu Rock, Nigeria Judicial System, NPA, Judicial Commission, Nigeria Judicial Commission, and so many.
The truth is finally out. Now that the Finnish government has declared the CDS of Nigeria, Musa, a terrorist now, what is the next phase of the lie? What lies can the government tell Nigerians? Now that Samonepa is no longer in the picture, because it has always been pictured that Samonepa is the cause of insurgency in Southeast, and now that insurgency has stopped in Southeast, and now that the Finnish government has vindicated Samonepa, that those sponsoring insecurity and terrorists in the country are those some persons in the military. Now, where would CDS Musa bury his shame? Because a group of people are saying we want to exit the country. Because the Igbos are saying they are tired of the contraption called One Nigeria. That this One Nigeria, it will not work. And then it has never been working. It has been a country full of lies, propaganda, and shame. That has always been how it is from. So I am not surprised that the Finnish government has now come out to say CDS Musa is a terrorist for all the atrocities he has been, for all the atrocities he has committed, in disguise of pretending to keep one Nigeria. And that one Nigeria has caused a whole lot of catastrophe in the country. Just some days ago, a notorious bandit that was declared wanted